Hallelujah. God has been so good and so mighty that He blesses you, and you just can't help but have a story behind it. He brought you through many trials and tribulations. And when He brings you through, you just don't have it hidden to yourself. You just gotta tell it. You just gotta tell it. Yes. God is good. Hallelujah. There's a story behind my praise. There's a story behind my worship. When my hands are lifted high, to cry. Remember, there's a story, only a few people know this. I didn't even make it in here this morning because about 6:30, 6:45 this morning, I had the worst pain in my belly. It was beyond dealing with. I was bent over in pain. My daughter had to get me up because I couldn't even get up. I was hurting. I mean, the kind of hurt where you couldn't even step your foot down on the ground. So I called the church, I called Miss Johnson, I think that's all I called. And I said, I'm not gonna make it, I gotta go to Kaiser because I'm afraid I had like a ruptured appendix, kidney, whatever. Because the belly was swollen, I was like, oh God, what you gonna do to me today? I know you're about to do something. I know you're about to do something. So I walked into Kaiser, and of course, you know, it takes about 2, 3, 4 hours for them to do anything. And I'm already thinking the worst because I don't know if some of y'all know my mom had kidney failure, so I'm already thinking, oh God. I don't know if I can deal with dialysis like my mom did. It was rough for her. So that was automatically. The devil was like, oh, guess what? Guess what? So I just went in there and said, well, whatever the diagnosis is, I'm going to be ready to deal with it. So I stayed there for about 4 hours. I didn't get in here until about 12 o'clock. And they did blood and everything. And I was like, oh, Lord, what is it going to be? What is it going to be? And I just thank the Lord it wasn't anything serious, like kidney failure or appendix. They said, you're just a little bit irritated. You just